Ever wonder what's hot in the baking world right now? It's not even that complicated. You get store-bought croissants, cut them open, shove in some store-bought cookie dough, and that's it. Hi everyone, I'm Gemma Stafford, professional chef, cookbook author, and creator of Bigger Bolder Baking. Welcome to Need to Know, your go-to podcast for everything baking entertainment. From the latest trends,
this is the viral scrambled pancake trend.
To the tips and tricks you crave.
We discovered that if you take apple peels, toss them in a little cinnamon and sugar, and bake them for about an hour in the oven, you get a really lovely treat.
Plus exclusive interviews with baking pros.
Hey, it's Liz from the Sugar Geek Show. Thanks for having me, Gemma.
We've even got the Bold Baking Hotline to answer all of your baking queries and questions.
Is a Dutch oven really necessary for baking bread, and what difference does it make?
Yes, I think we probably would agree on that, do we, Oni?
Yeah, good. So join us every Sunday for your new weekly baking ritual. It's everything you need to know.
You're listening to Heritage Radio Network.
Since 2009, HRN podcasts have been exploring the wide world of food, beverage, and agriculture. Learn more at heritageradionetwork.org.
Whether you're a chef or just love going to restaurants, you know the best ingredients are everything. West Home is working with the land to create nature-led Australian Wagyu. Learn more at westhome.com.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes, finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Hello and welcome to Snacky Tunes. I'm your host, Darren Bresnitz, and today I am delighted to be sitting down in-house with Ben Hundreds and Kate Burr, two of the owners of the Benjamin Hollywood, one of LA's best new restaurants and instant clubhouse for everyone who likes a good martini and a great burger. We talk about their road to opening, why Ben took so long to open up his first restaurant, and what one can expect on the soundtrack at any given night. If you haven't gone in, do yourself a favor, make a reservation, or go early and grab a seat at the bar. You won't be disappointed. Then we dip into the archives when singer-songwriter Rhodes Rollins stopped into the studio in 2017 for a live performance of her signature Americana-infused psychedelic rock. She had recently released her debut EP, Young Adult, which became an instant classic in our house. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy Snacky Tunes here on HRN. Hello and welcome to Snacky Tunes. I'm Darren Bresnitz, and I'm sitting here with Ben and Kate of the Benjamin. And Ben, I gotta say, 2 years ago, I never thought I'd actually be sitting in a restaurant you owned because, like everyone else, was asking you, when are you going to open, when are you going to open? And you're like, I have friends who open restaurants. I have a food festival. What changed?
What changed? I woke up one morning and something inside of me was like, maybe this is something you should explore. And it was really just a gut instinct. I had some time on my hands. I had some free time on my hands, and I was, looking for something else to do. And this just really something inside of me was like, explore it. And it started with a few conversations, one with Jared, one, and then a few others with other chef and restaurateur friends in town. I got some feedback, and here we are now.
Kate, in your day-to-day role as a consultant and all-knower of the industry, how many people say, I have an idea for a restaurant, and you're immediately just rolling your eyes? Follow-up question that, when do you know that someone actually has a good vision, even if it's not fully formed, to be like, you should explore this?
Yeah, it's kind of like a sixth sense for me, I think, at this point, just given the amount of time I've spent in the industry and helping people develop concepts and market them and, do everything in between. And when Ben and I were at dinner and he was telling me about what he wanted to do and what him and Jared were planning, it kind of just struck a chord with me because it felt like the exact thing that I too had felt LA was missing.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, how many countless conversations have we had about restaurants?
Yeah, right? And for years.
And luckily, we were able to pull from similar cities, New York, London, Paris, LA. And there seems to be a lot of inspiration here, which is great. But when you're bringing that to other LA restaurateurs, and you're friends with John, Vinny, some of the biggest hitters, did they feel that there was the same hole missing? Did they feel that you were on the right path at the very beginning of what you wanted to inject into what eventually became the Benjamin?
When I first went to them, it wasn't like a full fleshed out idea. It was just more like, guys, I'm thinking about doing this. I have this idea for a restaurant, and this is the kind of food I want to serve. And I always tell the story, like when I first talked to John, John was like, you have a successful clothing company. Like, what are you even thinking about getting into a restaurant business? Like, dude, come on. Like, why are you doing this?
You're like, look, we'll break you off a piece of Brentwood, get a nice return. You come in, you have a table, right?
So he was like, yeah, don't do this. Then I called Vinny, and Vinny was like, look, it's going to be really hard, but you should do it. He's like, you'll have fun, and you know food better than most chefs and restaurateurs in this city anyway. Like, your food's going to be good. You have a big network. Like, you'll figure it out. And he's like, and you have all of us behind you. Like, And then I call Evan, and I have lunch with Evan one day, and Evan's like, I give him the whole spiel, and Evan's like, 1,000%, don't even think about not doing it. Whatever you need, I got your back. Let's go.
I mean, there's the creative side of it, and then like the business side of it. There's no doubt that the network and the creative, everyone's coming in for at least friends and family, maybe coming back for a meal. How did you balance the business side of it? Because, look, you have a very successful company, and Kate, what goes into restaurants. At the end of the day, it's like a bottom line thing, no matter how cool it is. And marrying your morals with the market. When did that start to come into place as well? Because that really is, and I think, that's really what's going to put you on the path to open.
Yeah. Jared's our partner for that. And, I wouldn't have opened this restaurant without Jared. And I've been friends with Jared for a long time. He's a very well-known operator here in town, has owned a lot of bars and restaurants, has been really successful. And he's a numbers guy. And I'm also a numbers guy.
Yeah.
And that was my role at the Hundreds for 21 years. So I understand numbers, and I understand that in order for a business to succeed, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how well you're doing if you're not making money.
Yeah.
And, a restaurant is very different than owning a clothing company.
Different margins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very different margins. And so it is a little bit of a learning curve for me. And I tell my team all the time, and I'm not embarrassed of it, that like I've been in the restaurant business for 2 months.
Sure.
And I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm still learning every single day.
Yeah.
And I really lean on Jared, on Kate, on Chef Johnny, on Gary, our GM, on our AGM Nate. I really rely on the team a lot, and I learn from all of them every single day.
Yeah. Now, Kate, it's one thing to have a dinner or chat over drinks, be like, that's a great idea. Mm-hmm. It's another thing to, and again, you also have a very successful company and day job, to be like, I want to get into this business. What tipped it for you?
Well, it's funny because I never thought I would be an owner of a restaurant.
Interesting.
I've worked obviously with some of the best chefs and restaurateurs that, our world has ever seen. And I didn't have an interest in I've never worked in a restaurant. I never worked in service. Like I've always kind of been on this side of the thing on like the marketing and partnership and brand strategy side. But for me, having moved to LA from New York and being here for now almost 7 years, I crave that like New York dining experience and the energy and the hospitality. Yeah. And when Ben started talking about it, it just got me so excited about what we could build. And I believed between me, him, and Jared, and then obviously bringing in the rest of our team, that we could be the ones to do it here. And, as we were going through conversations of like what it looked like in terms of working together and my role in the project, and it kind of just got to the point where they presented me with the partnership opportunity, it kind of all just made sense.
Sure.
And we all kind of filled seats in a different way, but it all worked. It was like the perfect storm. Like we all brought something to the table that each other didn't have, but we all like had intersections of crossover. So which is like kind of cool, I think, in that, Jared obviously he previously owned the Pikey before that turned into Horses, but for all intents and purposes, like we're kind of all first time restaurateurs, like if you will, at least Ben and I are. So it's just like kind of funny how that all came together. And I don't think we ever were like, we want to do this when, we were writing in our yearbook what we want to be when we grow up. But
I mean, there's something good about you doing this for the first time, and there isn't one of you saying, well, when I opened this or when I did this. I think it allows you to be a little bit more malleable and take risks or try something that wouldn't, maybe you just would be like, well, we don't know better, so we don't know better not to do this. That's
been a good thing about working with Jared, is that he has been doing this for 20 something years.
Right.
But also Jared knows what he's good at and what he's not. And
big part of the partnership.
Yeah. And he really trusts me. He really trusts Kate with what we're good at. And all of us, the nice thing is that we all share the same vision for what the restaurant should be and what it is. And everyone has their lane, and we stick to our lanes, and we work together to put this thing together every day.
So you have a good team, you have a good idea of what it is, and, there's no way this place wasn't going to be designed within an inch of itself, everything considered. But a lot of that comes from finding the right building. Were you waiting for the right space to pop out to say, like, I'm actually going to do this? Or would you like, I know I'm going to do this, I just have to find the right building?
Okay, so the process was, I went to Jared about a year and a half ago in early 2023 with the idea. And he was like, cool, let's look. And I was in no rush.
Sure.
We looked at some spaces, and we actually negotiated pretty hard on the Village Idiot space down the street, which is now Carmel. And in the end, the numbers just didn't make sense, and it wasn't right. And so we passed on it. And for the summer, we were quiet. I really didn't even talk to Jared that much over the summer. We didn't look at any spaces.
Yeah.
And then the festival came around, and right after the festival, he's like, "Hey, let's have dinner. Let's catch up. It's been a little bit." I was like, "All right, cool." And we went to Stir Crazy, and we had some wine. We ate the whole menu.
Like one does, yeah.
And he's like, "All right, let's take a quick drive. I want to show you a space." Cool. And we drove over and turned the corner. He's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "That building looks cool." And the next day we came in and saw the space, because it was, at the time, it was a Mexican restaurant. We just kind of snuck our head in.
Sure.
Walked around, looked at the patio. And Jared's like, "All right, I'm friendly with the owner. She's my landlord in Silver Lake at the Friend. And these guys are on their way out. What do you think? Do you want to open a restaurant here?" And I took a really hard look at this space, and I knew that it was the right space for us.
Amazing. All right, we're going to take a quick musical break, and then we come back. We're going to talk about putting all the visions together, what made it in, what got left out, and what one can expect to hear on the soundtrack nightly here at the Benjamin Hollywood. Here you go, another track from the archives, live on Snacky Tunes on HRN. Welcome back to Snacky Tunes. I'm sitting here with Kate and Ben, two of the owners of the Benjamin Hollywood. And you have the team, you have the building, you have a lot of ideas. How do you start streamlining stuff? Because there's always those ideas that you're excited about, and you're like, this is going to work. And then you start learning the space and looking at the budget and also looking at the market and you're testing dishes. What made it through from the very beginning? What are one or two of the things that you're like, this was one of the first ideas, and what are some of the things that just,
Are we talking about menu-wise?
It could be anything. Menu-wise, design-wise, vision-wise. I mean, it feels so dialed in that, there had to be some editing.
I will say that the design in this room is, I think from day one, is what I envisioned this place to be, what Jared envisioned. What Kate had wanted when we described what we were trying to build. I think that Jared has an incredible eye and is a great builder, and I worked really closely with him to build this room, and I have to give him so much props on it. He built such a beautiful room. Every single detail in this place. Jared and I picked out together, and he is the leader of that. He's incredible. There were times where Kate was definitely questioning the process.
I'm like, who's our interior designer? He's like, Jared. I'm like, what? I'm like, not Roman and Williams?
Oh, man. I mean, look, if you have that brain trust in-house and you want something to feel truly unique, because there's no way when you tap a designer, no matter how good it is, that they're not going to want to put their stamp on it from when you walk in and you go, oh, I know who designed this.
Yeah, no, this is a Jared Meisler design. And so as far as that, but I mean, we knew what we wanted to do here. It wasn't there, if you want to talk menu, there's definitely things that didn't make it through.
Sure, give me one or two.
That we started with.
Well, we definitely had like a set of non-negotiables that had to be on the menu.
Okay.
Including obviously the burger.
I was going to say the burger.
Yeah. The menu was built around the burger. That was like...
Really? That's the cornerstone.
Yeah. There was no way I was opening a restaurant like this and it not be... and the burger not be like the thing to order. And I traveled the world to eat burgers earlier this year. And not that I haven't been doing that already for many years.
Yeah, unofficially.
Yeah, unofficially. What's funny is that, we're moving our offices at the Hundreds, and Bobby and I were walking around yesterday, and, we made Garbage Pail Kids 10 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And we have the original artwork, and we were looking at it, and it's Burger Ben with me eating burgers, and Bobby looks at it, and it's like this was meant to be.
Look, if you ever do to go, you can just put that right on the container. I got to say, though, the fact that it was not yet another LA smash burger, no disrespect to great burgers, but the fact that it came out and I was like, oh, yeah, look at the roundness of this patty.
Meaty patty.
It didn't even cross my mind for it to be anything but what it is.
I mean, listen, you could do worse, and unfortunately I live far away from the restaurant, than coming in, sitting at the bar, burger, fries, salad, martini.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
No, it's not all you need.
Cookies. What else do you need?
Cookies and cream.
Oh, the carrot cake.
Oh yeah.
You can have
I'm not a dessert guy. I'm not a dessert guy, and yeah. Well, we can't talk about the food without talking about the drinks, because it really is. I've been here a few times, and honestly, forget the food. If I just came here, and I have settled in just for a couple of drinks, it's a great vibe. It's a great feeling. Very intentional. Very, again, going back to the New York and Paris and London of it all. How did you set out to create that, but then also make it feel like an LA bar or an LA hang?
Look, Jared owns a lot of bars in town and has more experience than anyone I know. And he had met our bar director, Nathan Oliver, some time ago, and he knew that Nate was good. And so we brought Nate in for an interview, and we kept him around. Finally, we decided that let's bring Nate in as our assistant general manager and bar director. And we knew that we wanted the cocktail list to be built around martinis,
which is great.
And so Nate was like, "I got this, you guys."
Yeah,
like, it wasn't even much of a struggle with him when it came to the cocktails. Kate, Jared, and Nate worked together for a couple of weeks, and Nate really led the charge. And I think that our cocktail program rivals the best bars and restaurants in Los Angeles. And I really believe that our it's called the Dirtier Martini.
I've had a few.
I could argue that it's up there with the best in the city, and maybe it's the best in the city.
Oh, like Musso and Frank's? Just for that. I know I love it.
Yeah, they have they do one thing really well. It's make a martini.
Hey, I mean, do it for 100 years, right?
Yeah.
The menu itself, though, you brought in Johnny to help create the actual taking the ideas into the food. What was that process like? Because it's one thing to have a vision. It's one thing to have like the idea for a burger or for a chicken or something like that. It's another thing to pump out that every night consistently. How did you walk that fine line of working with the chef who's like, you're going to die if you do it this way, even though I know you want to taste this way all the time?
Look, Kate and I worked pretty closely on what we wanted the menu to look like,
or at least like what we wanted the menu to look like, and what we wanted kind of like the ethos of the menu to be.
Yeah,
what you wanted to say.
Yeah.
Because you walk in, it's the vibe, and then really like.
Yeah.
It's like sort of the first piece of information that you get.
And for us, like something really important about the menu was to make it just like craveable classics. Like we didn't need it to be too complicated, like kind of bring it back a little bit more to like a simpler dining experience, but obviously with a chef's touch and having unique pieces and elements to it. And so we didn't even give Johnny like our Excel of dishes that were kind of like what we wanted to see listed throughout the menu. We told him what we wanted to build and what we wanted the restaurant to be, and we let him interpret that in our tastings.
That's cool.
Yeah, totally. And Johnny nailed it. There's dishes that were in the first tasting that he gave. Kate wasn't there the first time. In his first tasting with Jared and I, that are on the menu now. And from the second tasting, and he was just, it's almost like those were practice, but they were so good that made its way through all the way to the end.
I mean, you're on the west side. You're so close to the farmer's market. Is seasonality playing into it at all? Are you doing specials, or does anything rotate out based on like...
I mean, right now, if you order a tomahawk, you're getting Jimmy Nardello peppers that are heavenly. I don't know how much longer those are going to be on the menu. Another example of that is our crudo right now is with pluots while they're in season. And I'm sure in the fall when they're out, Johnny will change it.
Yeah. And then on the wedge, we've now incorporated, obviously, some of the incredible tomatoes that we're seeing. We've been using Sun Golds in that. So wherever we can incorporate it, we love to. We're so passionate about the farmers market and the produce that we have here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a piece of what we serve.
Yeah. I mean, it's great because you have this classic, I don't want to say steakhouse, but this bistro type vibe.
Yeah.
And then you get to do the ultimate cheat, which is have the farmer's market pretty much right down the road.
And same for the cocktails. Like we have an apricot spritz that's been running all summer that we're going to swap out. So
yeah. So you have all the pieces coming together. You've done the testing, the design is like that. I know there's a ticking clock of like a meter. The meter's running, but I also know that you're not opening until you're ready, and there's never ready. But when did you know that it was time to say like, hey, we got to start doing a couple practice runs? Big smile on your face.
Let me tell you, that was really hard to get to that point.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Because honestly, the team was like, what I kept telling them is, we're never going to be ready. If I give you another month, we're not going to be ready. If I give you 2 more months, you're still going to say the same thing to me.
I honestly, I thought you were going the other way. I thought they were like, Ben, we have to open. And you're like, we're not ready.
Oh, no.
No, they were like, we're opening tomorrow. And I was like, literally on the backside, I'm like, Ben, you don't get it. We need more time. Like, he's like, I know, but I want our team to know that like they have to get everything in order. And I'm just like stressing on this side.
And so like what ended up happening is like, I gave them a date, so this is where we're opening, knowing that they weren't going to hit it, but I needed them to stress to get ready for that day. Yeah. And then I pushed it a week. And
look at this mensch. Look at this guy.
And then we still weren't ready, but we did friends.
That week helped.
We did friends and family.
Great.
We did 4 nights of service for friends and family, which really helped.
It always does.
Yeah.
But you did friends and family in a right way. That wasn't just one night, everyone comes in, you're slammed, and there's no way to say we're going to improve from night to night to night.
Yeah. No. We did the first night we did 50 covers, 60 covers. The second night, the same thing. Then we took a break for a night to like, all right, let's regroup. How were the first 2 nights? And then we did
Friday. Notes, people.
We did Friday and Saturday night. We did 75 covers a night.
Also,
80 covers.
For us, like friends and family wasn't supposed to be a party. I feel like nowadays it's like a party, friends and family, or like people get so offended if they're not invited. And it's like, for us, we really wanted feedback. Yeah. We wanted to do mock service. We wanted to test the food. We wanted to get our most trusted people in LA in here and give us feedback. So when we do open our doors, like we're set for success.
Honestly, the service was fantastic.
Thank you.
You know, I was like, oh yeah, this just feels like I forgot. Except for then I looked around the room, I was like, oh, there's everyone I know from the media world and food. But it's just like, oh yeah, this just felt like my drinks came fast, my food came hot. You know, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But that's different than opening up the doors to the public who aren't your friends. How many of your friends, honestly, shot you straight, gave you real feedback?
Probably like 10 to 20%.
That's it? I feel like we got some like...
We did. Okay. There's 2 ways to look at this. I think everyone gave pretty honest feedback on the forms that they filled out.
Sure.
But also, like, I don't trust most of my friends, so like I don't really care what most of them say.
Sure.
Of the people that I really care about their opinion.
Okay, so we're just narrowing. Okay. Yeah.
So like
those people.
The chefs.
A lot of chefs. You.
Thank you.
Yes.
Some other. There. You know. I trust like.
I know.
I don't trust anyone.
No, I know.
But the few people I do trust, everyone gave me their real criticism and real feedback, and you know, it was nice to hear it because most people are idiots. And,
well, also, listen, especially friends and family, you come out of here, you've just eaten yourself silly. You've seen people you know. You've had 3 drinks or no drinks, whatever. You just feel good. And you're like, what an awesome time. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, but was there enough salt on the salad? Was the burger overcooked? They're like,
honestly,
what?
I feel like we've been getting more feedback since the restaurant has been open.
Well, let's talk about that because now you're
2 months in.
2 months in, and the public's here.
Yeah.
And the tables are full, which is great. But repeat customers or more people wanting to get in, because, you know, LA is like, they like the bright, new, shiny thing. Yeah. And people come once and they take their photo and they're like, on to the next. Have you seen different experiences already? Like, what's it been like working with the public or having the public in?
I feel like we've been seeing a lot of repeat guests and a lot of neighborhood people popping in. What I love is a lot of people that are walking in and dining at our bar, even as like singles or 2 tops or parties of girls and parties of guys. Like everyone ends up socializing and becoming friends at the bar.
It's a great bar.
Which I've been absolutely loving. That was my dream. But also, like a lot of the time, the restaurant's filled with a lot of our friends still, which is really nice that they want to keep coming back and supporting. So it's been a fun balance, I'd say.
Well, people want a clubhouse with good food and drinks.
Yeah. I mean, look, my dream for this place was to be Cheers.
Sure.
And I love that, you know, you can sit at the bar and you're going to be sitting next to, you know, it was one of the first weeks that we were here, that we were open. And I remember one friend that worked for me, Dylan, and his girlfriend, Tway, were sitting there having dinner. And then next to them was Farley. And I was sitting there talking to Farley. I was like, oh, Farley, you should meet Tway.
Yeah.
And like, oh, we've never met. How you doing? Da-da-da. And like all that happened through just me knowing Dylan and Dylan being my boy and then Tway being on the show a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've known Farley for a handful of years just through food stuff. But that happens every single night.
Well, I remember when I was in here and you had two very big A-listers who had originally requested sort of tucked away booth. And you're like, you actually want to be at the bar. Everyone's going to respect your privacy. And then that was actually the experience they wanted.
Yeah.
Which you can't do a lot here. A lot of times it's like, I mean, going back to like Evans, some of his spots are like, this is where they sit because we don't want people to.
We've had
them.
So many A-listers sit at our bar, and our room is small.
Yeah.
It's not a.
People are respectful,
and everyone notices. It's impossible to notice. Then you go, another round of Parker rolls, please.
Yeah,
another martini. And look, I think I've seen the success and longevity of restaurants that get to stay open are ultimately neighborhood spots, and that's not like a diss in any way or a downgrade.
Yeah.
And look, there are obviously spots that are celebratory spots that stay open for years and years and years. Maybe you go once. I have to imagine that being a neighborhood spot was at the core intention of this opening.
100%.
Yeah.
I, without a doubt, I lived in this neighborhood for 20 years. I knew what it wanted and I knew what the neighborhood wants and needs. And it is a clubhouse. It's a place to come get food that you're comfortable eating and you know what you're going to get, but maybe a little bit better version of it. You're going to get great cocktails. You're going to get great hospitality. You're going to sit in a good room, listen to good music, and you're probably going to see someone you know here. And like that's like the best. That's like the charm of like a really good neighborhood spot is going somewhere and running into someone you know, or someone you haven't seen for a long time, or making a new friend at the bar.
I met your cousin.
Yeah.
Sat next to him, shared his chicken.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Yeah, that's right.
We follow each other on Instagram now. Let's talk about the music. I know different night, different music, but hit me with Friday night, Saturday night. Is it all Ben? Kate, do you get to put a few songs in?
Like once in a blue moon, I'll send Ben a song and be like, I like this song. And he'll be like, okay. Like if it passes, but it's really Ben.
I have one playlist that we play every single night here.
How many songs is it?
Right now we are at 24 hours and 47 minutes of music.
Okay, cool.
I add to it every single day.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Not that it's weird for me, but it took some time for me because I had an idea of what I wanted the music to be, but I don't listen to that much rap music anymore. And I knew I wanted rap and R&B in the restaurant.
It's a hip restaurant in LA. Of course there has to be rap.
And so, but like, I don't listen to Gunna, and I don't listen to, I don't
even know who that is.
He's a rapper.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
I don't listen to Gunna. I don't listen to, here, I'm going to just give you the last few that I put on. Like, sure, I listen to Travis. Sure, I listen to Travis and Drake and Future and The Weeknd, but like, I don't listen to Baby Keem, and I don't listen to Kodak Black, and I don't listen to Playboy Cardi or Trippie Redd, but I have all these on the playlist. But yeah, you'll find things like Don Toliver and Tory Lanez and Pop Smoke to Blast and Dom Kennedy and
Fred Again.
There is one Fred Again song that does not match any of the other music, but like whenever it comes on, Kate's like, "Oh, this song doesn't," and I'm like, "I don't care. It's Fred. It's Fred. It's my one.
Yeah,
it's my one Fred song."
See, I was like, "Can we add like a Sabrina Carpenter song?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, fine.
Chaperone.
I love.
Oh, I do like Chaperone.
I like Sabrina Carpenter, but no, it's not happening. I like Billie Eilish also. It's not happening.
Just like throw one in.
Fair enough. Well, listen, guys. Congratulations. If people want to come and they don't have Ben's cell phone number, how can they enjoy a night out at the Benjamin Hollywood?
There's two ways. You can wake up and set an alarm for 9 a.m. every morning, and reservations become available at 9 a.m. for the following week. So
7 days in advance.
So today's Thursday. So this morning at 9 a.m., reservations for next Thursday night became available.
I like a week out.
Yeah.
A week out is really good.
Yeah.
Because then it's not, I did 30 days out and who knows where I'm going to be in 30 days.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's also you can walk in at 5:30. And
our bar is available for walk-ins.
Yeah. If you walk in before 6 o'clock, chances are you'll get seated.
How long am I allowed to stretch out a 6 p.m. walk-in at the bar?
Hour and a half, hour and 45. Cool. Sometimes you'll get lucky and get to stay a little bit longer, but
Also, if your party is 7 or more, then you can email us, and it's a preset menu, large party, and we'll take care of you.
Amazing. Well, Kate, Ben, everyone involved, congratulations. I will be back again and again and again. Can't wait.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Up next, we have a song from the archives and then a live performance here on HRN.
Red's got her hood, she's running through the forest. Run faster, she's got a lot for us. She can't go home too quick. Wolf's hungry, he hasn't eaten all day. Follow her, she's getting away. She knows she's got no time to waste. Oh, she's in the forest, and oh, she's coming for us. Whoa, she's too grim for you. Whoa, and oh, she's in the forest, and whoa, she's coming for us. Whoa, she's too grim for you. Whoa, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Climb up your green candlestick. You're running out, but he's too slick. Jack's got your things, he's robbed your house, but you're too slow and he's gotten out. That giant's got one big bone to pick. And oh, she's in the forest, and oh, she's coming for us. Whoa, she's too grim for you. Whoa, and oh, she's in the forest, and oh, she's coming for us. Whoa, she's too grim for you. Whoa, Jack and Jill climb up their hill. Don't waste your time. No, don't stand still. I'm falling fast. I can't stand up. We're two, but soon we could be one. And Mom and Dad don't want us home. And Jill, she's stuck inside a hole. And Jack, he's really down on his luck. And fairy tales, they're getting old. The creatures in them, they are cold. No one wants to be bold. And we can wake up, we can shine the moon, be real. We're all young, we cannot feel. We're doing the things that we're told. And oh, she's in the forest, and oh, she's coming for us. Whoa, she's too grim for you. Whoa, and oh, she's in the forest, and whoa, she's coming for us. Whoa, she's too grim for you. Whoa.
Whether you're a chef or just love going to restaurants, you know the best ingredients are everything, especially when it comes to beef. In Northern Australia, there's a different approach to raising high-quality beef. West Home, based in Queensland and Northern Territory, is working with the land to create nature-led Australian Wagyu. They steward 16 million acres of rangeland, guided by their natural ecosystem, and are led by a belief that if they balance the needs of their cattle with the needs of their environment, both can thrive. Their team of rangeland experts and nature managers use a variety of tools like satellites that assess grass health and on-the-ground research to monitor and respond to the welfare of the environment. These cows graze on native grasses like Mitchell grass, which is only found in Australia, along with dozens of other plants, herbs, and seasonal legumes. Cattle are happier when they have the freedom to forage and explore, so West Home ensures they can roam wild, foraging at will for the first 2 to 3 years of their lives. The result is high-quality Wagyu beef that reflects the terroir of Northern Australia and a flavor suited to complement any cuisine. West Home believes that when nature leads, flavor follows. Learn more at westhome.com.
Welcome back. We have Rollins in the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here, Ron. How's it going over there?
How's it going?
Going.
Yeah.
Rhodes, you are from Colorado.
Yeah.
How was that as a childhood?
I was born and raised in Boulder. It's a beautiful place to grow up.
Stunning.
Yeah, I really loved it. By the time I was 17, I was really ready to get out. And that's when I moved to New York. But no, I loved it. I grew up actually at a bilingual school there. So I was kind of lucky to have maybe a little less of a typical Boulder experience there. It was like a 70% Mexican school. And I grew up immersed in Spanish there, and that was a really amazing place to kind of grow up and to that.
And what was the music scene like there? I've gone out to Boulder to do a couple indie rock shows in like the early 2000s, but it was not as receptive as one would have thought. So like, what was the musical landscape growing up?
EDM is really big there.
Okay.
Like it's embarrassing, but I do remember like blasting dubstep in the car when I was like 15, 16 years old with my friends. That scene is really big there. As far as like indie rock, I think there is a scene. I always think of Fox on the Hill, the Fox Theater. There's some good spots, and I think there is a scene there in terms of like kind of a local live scene. But for me, I didn't really get immersed into it so much until I moved out of Boulder. So
you talk about like the Western landscapes and sound being a huge inspiration for you. What is it about it? How does that work its way into your music? Where can you find it in your songs?
Yeah, I on the EP I just released called Young Adult. Well, I didn't just release it. I guess it's almost been a year. I really tried to tap into kind of a spaghetti Western vibe with whistles and kind of slow, sad tremolo guitars, and I really envisioned the desert and mountainscape kind of a lot when I was writing. And I kind of looked at artists like Nancy Sinatra and Lee Hazelwood for inspiration when writing those songs. That EP is about growing up, and that was mostly in Boulder for me. And I wanted to tap into that sound and that feel of the West. So.
And you mentioned, how old were you when you moved out to New York?
I was 17.
You moved to New York. So you were already on the East Coast, but looking west for inspiration. How did you balance being here, but keeping that kind of, large, open plain, mountains in the distance?
Yeah.
While not being influenced by Brooklyn, per se.
Right. Yeah, maybe I was looking outward. I never even really thought about that. We're so densely packed in here. Most of the work I do in music is still out west. I'm mostly in LA doing recording and working out there, and that was kind of a strange but fun dynamic for me. I was in college here, but flying back and forth to record and work. So that was another reason why I feel like it was kind of this almost nostalgic feeling for me, because when I was here, I really didn't want to be here. I was in school. I was studying. I wasn't studying music.
What were you studying?
I was at NYU.
Okay. Still doesn't answer. What were you studying?
Oh, what was I studying?
Yeah.
Sorry, I said where. I was studying cultural iconography.
Okay.
Which essentially is like looking at the branding of people, what makes somebody iconic in culture, and what are the visual aspects of that. And so it is very much related to the music world.
Super helpful.
Yeah, and super interesting. And I love doing it. I'm kind of a nerd. I like diving into intellectual things. So I enjoyed being in school, but my mind was often somewhere else, and it was kind of out west. So.
Can we hear a song?
Yeah.
What are you going to play for us?
We're going to start with a song called Loving You. It's a song that's kind of become a staple of my set, but it's never been recorded, so...
Oh, well, here we go.
It is.
Here it is. Here we go, live on Snacky Tunes.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
I drove 300 miles today. I'm tired, but I won't take a break. My God, just open up your eyes. My God, what can I do to change your mind? 'Cause no one can stop me from loving you the way I should. And no one can stop me from loving you the way I will. No one can stop me from loving you the way I want to. No one can stop me from loving you the way I do. I've said some things I should not say. That don't mean that you should stray. My God, just open up your eyes. My God, what can I do to change your mind? 'Cause no one can stop me from loving you the way I should. And no one can stop me from loving you the way I will. No one can stop me from loving you the way I want to. No one can stop me from loving you the way I do.
You mentioned your young adult EP, which is now almost a year old.
Yeah.
It has so many great stories on it. Is there one in particular that you feel is kind of like emblematic or iconic?
Good word to use.
of the EP?
Definitely. There's a character named Wes that comes up in a bunch of the songs on that EP. And, you know, as I said, the story is about growing up. It's the EP itself is really a story of coming of age tales, kind of strung together. And Wes was my young first love.
Real or fictional?
Real, but fictional name. Okay. And he kind of had a really tragic story. And we were together when I was in high school. He was a bit older than I was. Left Boulder to go study in Kansas. He was not from the States, but he was a football player, American football player, and got a scholarship to play in Kansas. And we were not together anymore, but, you know, we kept in touch, and he was very unhappy there. He didn't fit in really as a foreign person where he was. It was a small town, and was just kind of down. It wasn't good. And he finally found out that he was eligible for a full ride scholarship to go to his dream school. Went out to go celebrate with his friends. They were in a car and got pulled over, and he had just a little bit of weed on him. Weed, what current at this time was not legal anywhere. It was, you know, had he been in Colorado, he probably would have gotten off with a fine at the time, but in Kansas, it was definitely not legal. And he was arrested and put in jail for a quarter of a year. Simply because he wasn't a citizen. He had a super high bail. He was there, that he couldn't get out. And once he'd served his sentence, he was deported. And his story was so tragic and just so upsetting, you know, just because a simple document, you know, he was treated completely different and really inhumanely. And I really wanted a platform to be able to tell that story. And so I tell his story on that EP, and I try to bring it up because there's so many people that go through that their stories aren't told. And I think in so many ways too, he was lucky to have been a white guy, in that situation. So that's pretty much the heavy story that I tell on that EP.
No more questions. Can you play another song for
us?
Just play us another song.
The downer.
No. Please play another song. What are you going to play for us?
This song is called Big Girls.
Oh running away from me and you.
You mentioned that you have worked in Mexico City. What brought you there? What have you done down there? Where's your favorite taco? Tell me all the secrets.
So, yeah, as I mentioned to you, I grew up studying at a bilingual school and was very immersed in Mexican-American culture, and have always been drawn to Latin culture in general. And I was going back and forth between New York and LA, and I had this project ready, young adult, and I really wanted to do something different. I wanted to release it in a different way. I didn't want to do a release show in New York or LA. Before that happened, I decided to go down to Mexico City and do a music video there. But I brought in a New York team with me called Street Dreams Magazine. They're like a video collective based here. And there were like 5 or 6 of us, and none of us had ever been to Mexico City before. And, you know, it's a massive place. And I didn't just want to be these American transplants down there that had no idea what they were doing. So I figured Street Dreams Magazine has like a big Instagram presence. So I thought I'd hit up some local Instagrammers in Mexico City to see if they would be interested in doing some type of collaboration with us. And we found a few people that were super down to help out. And they ended up completely taking on the project and like leading the way. And I thought they were such cool people. Then it was so cool because they were like architects and photographers and fashion designers and people that they weren't really involved in music, but there's this kind of energy in Mexico City that like all these different types of artists are really collaborative and involved in each other's work, which I don't feel as much, at least in my circle here or in LA.
Yeah, we had Gabby from Contramar on earlier this year, and she talks about how it feels, how New York must have felt in the 70s when everyone was just into each other's stuff and just collaborating, and it just was, everyone's like, you're into that, I'm into this, let's do something together, let's mix it up. Yeah, it's like so open, and it was so refreshing, and I was only there for 5 days shooting that video, which actually never ended up coming out, but it led to kind of a discovery of this artist scene down there, and I was like, I have to go back. So then fast forward to me releasing this project and wanting to do something different, so I decided that I would play a release show down there. And I, reached out to those friends I made. I said, is there anybody that might be able to help me put something together? I just want to play a show and, see what happens. I had been there, so I went down there knowing a handful of people. I was there for 2 weeks before I played the show. I think probably 150 people came to that show, and I knew almost every single person in the room. It's amazing. It was amazing. And it really doesn't have anything to do with me. I don't think it's like an amazing community down there. Well, where did you play the show? It was at this bar called Shaman. Shaman. It's like a kind of Ecuadorian themed like bar with incense everywhere. It's super cool and cavernous, and it was awesome. So I ended up staying down there for a while, doing another music video, which did come out. Perfect. So it was all worth it in the end. And I just had an amazing time, and I'm so sad about what happened there. I know. We have a lot of friends down there, and it's amazing to see how they're banding together. And if you're listening, please donate. They still need it. Donate $10 every day or every week, or $5 every other week. It goes a long way. Mm-hmm. You are in the process of making a new EP as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. what's the focus on that? You're grown up now.
I'm grown up at 22.
Grown up at 22. Is there a focus? Is there a protagonist, or how is this different from young adult?
Yeah, this one is much less character based, and more. The central theme is more in the texture and feel of the music itself. I am still playing Western sounds, but I wanted to try to incorporate kind of a more diverse Western sound in incorporating what I think, plays into what we hear as Americana music. So there are kind of some Latin, Southwestern elements in it. There's also some like West African influences in there. I'm like super into Tanari Wen and can't stop listening to them. I don't know anybody who's not really into them right now. But I wanted to try to incorporate these things that I feel are part of Americana music. So texturally, that's kind of the theme. And it's still in the rough mixing stage, but I'm really, really excited about it. And
perfect. We can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, we want to make sure we have time for one more song.
Yeah.
But where can people find you? Get your first EP? Check out your Instagram?
Sure. The first EP is available everywhere, called Young Adult. So wherever you like to listen to music, it's there. And my Instagram is Lady Rhodes.
Perfect.
So I'm Rhodes Rollins.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Shout out to my brother. If you like this episode, please go into wherever you listen to podcasts and leave us a nice little note and give us a little 5-star review. We'd appreciate it. What's the name of the last song you're going to take us out with?
It's called Young and Thriving.
Perfect. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with an all new episode of Snacky Tunes. Here we go.
Thanks for having us.
Fast like lightning, we both came undone.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Snacky Tunes is powered by Simplecast. Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. Keep in touch at heritageradionetwork.org/subscribe.